Everybody, very happy to have all of you guys here. Some great weather with us today, which is very nice. It's not something you see every day in Amsterdam. I'll be your skipper for today. My name is Fabrice. If you have any questions of Amsterdam, I'm your guy, obviously. Now, believe it or not, this is actually my first shift for Captain Jack. I used to be a sailor for flagship, but I switched to the competition, which is nice. No, I did it because this tour is one half hour longer. So this one takes 1 hour and 30 minutes, right? And it has unlimited drinks, so you guys can just drink whatever you want. That's also very nice. I'm gonna take you through a part of Amsterdam, not parts. I'm gonna take you to 3 parts. First being the cheapest, second being the most expensive, and the third actually being like a middle class. So you see everything of Amsterdam, which I thought was nice. You guys get the full experience. We don't know. We have no idea. It was there before Amsterdam was even founded. The second being it stands for sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And then the third one being, the first one stands for the 3 X's stand for the 3 biggest setbacks Amsterdam has had to face in its history. The first being the floods. Amsterdam is 2 meters below sea level, so the floods would regularly happen. The second being the fire. There's 2 big fires. One wiping out 1/3 of the city. The second wiping out 2/3 of the city. This all happened in the 16th century, so a long time ago. And then also the last one, the Black Plague. So,
The third one was pretty detailed.
it was pretty detailed, right? So which one do you want to guess? Which one's really? Nah, take me the first one. We have had these 3 X's since like 1100. Even before Amsterdam was actually called Amsterdam. So we just don't know. It has been like that for a long time.
I would just continue to promote it everywhere. They don't know anything.
Well, I don't think anybody's gonna find out as well. Yeah, we recognize it.
What is Gemente?
I'm sorry, what?
The word. What is that?
It's the main, it means government.
Government?
It's government of Amsterdam. Now, if you recognize those 3 X's, and there's no shame in this, guys, let me just say, if you recognize it for pornography, right? That's actually also, it's true. Because Amsterdam was actually the first place where you could legally film pornography. So what they would do is they would brand these movies with the 3 X's to show it was recorded in Amsterdam. But yeah, before I tell a little bit more, since we're going to be stuck together here for 1.5 hours, I always like to get to know a little bit about you guys. Where you met them from and what brought you guys to Amsterdam. So I'll go first. My name is Fabrice, 21 years old. I've been living in English for 21 years. Brought me to Amsterdam with my parents. And then it starts with you guys in the front.
Norway tomorrow, so we'll see how.
Oh, it's such a beautiful country. Yeah, you can tell more about it, obviously. It's a very beautiful country. But the price of beer is, in my opinion, a bit ridiculous. So I don't go there anymore. Yes, you guys. That's what
We are from
Georgia. Yeah, very nice. Atlanta.
So nice to get all this. Okay.
Getting close by it, going the opposite direction, or not that. A lot of these, or actually all of these. Yeah, right now we're actually entering the first part of Amsterdam. This is called the Oude Schans, which used to be one of the more poor districts in Amsterdam. Now I'm going to talk a lot about the golden age of Amsterdam. It's the period in between the 16th and the 17th century, or 17th, 18th century in Amsterdam, where all the wealth you see around you really amassed from. Can you guys hear me good in the back?
Oh,
I have a lot of loud boats going by, but I'll talk louder. Okay?
Don't believe a word he says. Don't believe a word he says.
he's been doing nothing but bad mouthing you guys.
Yeah, right now we're sailing through the Oude Schans, which used to be one of the more poor districts of Amsterdam. You can tell by two things. You can tell by one thing mainly, we're sailing across the canal. The houses here are very narrow. Right? The taxation used to be based on a few things. The main thing was the width of your house. The wider your house, quite logically, the wider your house, the more square footage your house has, you had a bigger house. Now, Amsterdam was founded in 1273. It started off as a small fisherman's village. I don't know if you guys maybe tried it. Herring. That was like the only thing they caught over here. Herring. If any of you guys want to try it, it's very nice. Try it raw. I think it's very nice. We call it the Dutch sushi. We have to have a saying, one herring a day keeps the doctor away, two herrings a day keeps everybody away. This time one. Okay. You got it. But yeah, as you can imagine, not really much happened around that time, so we're jumping to the 17th and 18th century, a period we like to call the golden age of Amsterdam, where all the wealth you see around you amassed from. Now when you're looking at these houses, right, I want you guys to notice a few things. First thing being the width of the house, like I mentioned. The second being the hooks at the top of every building, right? You noticed that already?
Yes.
Very good. Now these hooks actually serve the a certain purpose. But before that, I want to make you guys guess what these hooks were used for. Does anybody? Yeah, you guys want to try? Yeah, yeah, that's very good. Taking stuff up. It's a very broad answer, but it is true. Nowadays, you'll have a lot of people saying like to bring their sofa upstairs, you know, because the staircase in Amsterdam are so steep, which is true. The staircase in Amsterdam are very steep. That's also why we love IKEA over here. We just click everything together. On a tour like this one last year, I actually saw some guy lifting his washing machine all the way to the top,
Oh my god.
which is a ridiculous sight to see. And you would think it would be a big disaster, but it actually went fine until he got his washing machine to the top, and then he saw his window wasn't wide enough to fit his washing machine. So he had to find another way. Now, but that's actually the more modern reason. In the 15 and 1600s, when we traded with spices, the company was the Dutch East India Trading Company. Now, this Dutch East India Trading Company traded these bags, not bags, pepper boats, and brought these bags on boats, stored them here. You sir, you want to keep your Heineken can up, please? The quantity of these Heineken cans filled with peppers would buy you an entire house. I'll show you how valuable these spices are. spicy, high and dry. That's actually where that expression comes from. I mean, I don't know if that's true. Like, I saw a couple people like, I don't think that's right. This is a nice bar. You can see it's very crooked. It also has a tile in the men's bathroom. I was there once. It says, keep on drinking until the building is straight.
Do people still live on those boats along the end?
Sorry, I have two questions.
This is a canal live now.
The canal? What you mean? Or? No, it doesn't. It's outside of the country nowadays.
Do people still live on the boats that we see by the end?
It's a great question. We'll get back to that. They still live on it all year round. Yes, it's a question. Why are the buildings crooked? That's a great question. Amsterdam is the biggest disaster. After that, the government never let this happen again. Like invested so much money into this technology, the Delta there. Sends other codes as well. So it never happens. Also, the Dutch are not to be so incredibly ingenious with water techniques that we all across the world that hire Dutch engineers to help with the water issue. I don't know, do you guys know Dubai? There's this Palm Island over there. A lot of them are, but not everyone. They start pretty early, from when you're 12 years old before you get taught English. But also if you're living in Amsterdam, there are so many English students here, foreign people living here like expats. It's almost impossible not to think speaking English a lot. Those are my colleagues. I don't trust them all.
You can turn this into bumper boats.
I had a situation like that. We have this water bikes, and now we have this pedal the bikes. Someone like this, side by side. Got stuck. And then I was behind it for like 35 seconds, and I thought, okay, this is not working. Push them out. You can work at them, you can honk at them, but it's not working.
What is this bridge name? Why there's crowns on the top of the...
Yeah, this is actually a bridge that was a gift from France to Russia. But you can see with the gold stuff, it's not very like communistic. So the Russians actually, they refused it, and they actually offered it to the Dutch. The French offered it to the Dutch, and the Dutch were like, oh, there's something free? Yeah, sure, give it to us. So we actually took it.
Will we be passing the skinny bridge?
That's it. Veerkracht.
I'm sensing some talent on board. That's the way I wanted to put it. What do you say you make it a little bit harder? You want to know how you say 88 almighty beautiful canals of Amsterdam? I can only do this twice a day. 88 allermachtige, prachtige grachten van Amsterdam. Beautiful, right?
Sounds Klingon.
Yeah, what a romantic romantic language we have.
I can see that that brother is taller than that brother.
But yeah, I showed you guys the houses on the outer stamps, which were very cheap, right? Or at least at those times. Amsterdam is for 90% UNESCO protected, which means you cannot change anything about the front of your house. Houses on this canal.
10.
Yeah. Well, we're coming past the most expensive house tours in Amsterdam, so I'll show that to you. Sorry? No. 52, you said? Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't think 32. Around that.
32 what? Really?
No, not as much. A little bit less. Now, while we're sailing on the most expensive canal, something that cannot be left out is the most expensive hotel, obviously. The Waldorf Astoria. If you're looking for a room there, cheapest room is goes for 750 euros a night. The most expensive room is number 554. It's actually the entire house. Now, if you're still looking for a room, number 554 might actually be one for you. It goes for 25,000 euros a night. Believe it or not, when I tell you, it's actually a good deal. There's always a very big boat in the middle.
I thought you meant the scaffolding.
Sorry?
I thought you meant the scaffolding.
No, it's like never written in the road. They call the canals a canal belt, so it's quite unique. It's definitely in the road.
Down that way.
Sorry?
You need to take like that charge or that way.
No, you can just go in. But we don't. We're coming by it again. This one is the most expensive house ever sold in Amsterdam. I believe it was like 16 or 18 million euros, the one with the striped flagpole.
What would be on the other side of the house?
That's actually a great question. That's something I never really bothered to think about. But I learned a little bit more about the history and I was actually quite amazed. In the 15 and 1600s, the canals looked very different. We didn't have trees, right? This was still used as an open sewage, so it smelled very bad. And the boats that came into the city didn't have engines, right? They used the wind, but there wasn't enough wind in the city. So what they had was horses pulling these boats across the canal. So there was so much horse manure on the sides of that, right? On the canal, there was so much horse manure. It smelled super bad here. His question was, what is on the other side of these buildings? It's actually very big gardens. For the people that were rich enough to live here, they wanted to have a fresh breath of air. So they had these gardens where it was like the only place where you could freely breathe. Pretty crazy. And I don't know about you guys, but if I'm paying 16 million for a house, I want my own infinity pool on the roof, my own helicopter pad in the backyard, and that's unfortunately just not possible here. So almost all of these buildings are owned by companies. For example, Booking.com, we just saw the headquarters of Rolling Stones, Dua Lipa, Justin Bieber, Vinted, that's their headquarters here.
One of them I saw. Very
So is each level of the building is an apartment? Yeah, but I wonder here, I think it's
Uh-oh.
It's always so chaotic here.
Is there a right-of-way protocol, or do you just figure it out on your own?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Oh, well, in the meantime, if you're looking at the these like little drawings on top of these buildings, it usually is possible. 1.5 stars, they have additional services as well. Now, if you're looking on the building on the left, right, you can see the original 7 provinces of the Netherlands: Overijssel, Utrecht, Holland, Gelderland, Zeeland, Friesland, and Groningen. Now, the reason that people call the Netherlands Holland, because when we founded, or when the Netherlands was founded like 800 years ago, we were the 7 united provinces of the lowland. It was a bit of a mouthful, and also people in Groningen had nothing to do with people in Holland, because the world was that much bigger at those times. You guys learned of one then. Yeah, the name Yankees, right? The 2 most common Dutch names at those times were Jan and Kees. So when they actually traded this, there were still a lot of Dutch people living there, and they were calling these people the Jan and Kees, the Yankees. That's what they were calling them. So that's why actually the name stuck around in New York as the Yankees. Also, when you're going over there and you're going into boroughs like Staten Island, that's actually like a Dutch name for Staten Island. Coney Island, Coney, yeah, I just learned this like a week ago. Coney sounds like konijn. Konijn means rabbits. And on Coney Island, you see a lot of rabbits. Also, like, why a highway? With the shutters. The house with the shutters over there is actually a great example of what used to be a typical warehouse. The reason that it was a warehouse is because these shutters actually serve 2 purposes. The first purpose was if you close it, it kept the spices dry from the elements, like the water and the rain. It was easier to open as well if you wanted to put stuff in it. From the outside, we're using the hooks. And then the second reason, it's more of a Dutch reason. These shutters actually counted as doors and not as windows. You paid less taxes on the doors than you paid on the windows.
These canals freeze?
Not really. They can freeze, but they don't really.
Do the boats stay in?
Yes. You guys picked such a nice evening to do this.
Do you have to pay a moorage fee if you
Up here?
park your boat?
But you can't leave them dock for longer than 2 days. Venice. Now, they aren't as good in water management as we are, so the water is very disgusting, especially when there isn't a lot of rainfall in the summertime. The water gets very dirty. But we don't have that problem here. It's very nice. 'Cause it always rains a lot. Right now we're actually crossing over into one of the most famous parts of the tour. This is called Houseboat Alley.
It's like a
We
bunker.
have a couple of famous ones, like this one for instance, this one on the left. This one is actually named after a celebrity from the United States. Let's see if you guys can guess. Liberace, wow, we're going way back with that one. Honest, last where I heard somebody say Dolly Parton. Marilyn Monroe, I've also heard of that.
What is it?
We call it the Kim Kardashians. Yeah. You got it? But the story is actually much more sweet. So it isn't as funny as I usually don't tell you. It's actually an office of an architect who modeled the boat at the belly of his pregnant wife. Now you guys have seen that there are a lot of houseboats here, right?
Yeah.
These houseboats came in after the 50s. The 50s we had a very big housing crisis in Amsterdam. People were always asking like, hey, how do we, back then the government had said like, come live on the water, it's free. So everybody brought their boats. There's one thing you don't need to tell a Dutch person, is that it's free. You all come riding. After about 2 years, it got way out of hand. I'll tell more about that later. You see this boat right here. Boats like this have to get taken out of the water every 5 years for maintenance. And you bring to the harbor. And if you're looking at this, it's way too light to fit under the bridges. Now, how do they get these boats to the harbor?
There's wheels.
Take them apart?
Over the water. Are there wheels
Put
after?
wheels under it in the water.
Just lift it a little.
Lift them. Okay. No, it's actually much easier. I've heard some. I never forget this. I was on a tour like a year ago, and some German guy actually said they take helicopters and lift it out. On those ones you saw that are way higher, they take the top off. They got way out of hand. The government said you're going to buy a permit. That permit gives you an address. You're the only one with that permit. That's when you can put your boats. It also says like you have to put it. If you buy this permit, you put it on this spot. You cannot move it. Okay, that's your spot. A permit like that on average goes for 700,000 euros. Nobody surprised? If I were to make you guys guess, you would say 200,000 euros. And I know, we've been doing this for quite some time. But yeah, there goes for 700,000 on average. If you want to buy a boat like this, it's another 400,000 euros on top. So it's a very expensive way to live. But the hippies that actually bought a permit in 1950 something, they're rich now. It's a great investment to have. A lot of these houses nowadays are also Airbnbs, like buy real estate. For a permit, 700,000 euros on average. And then you have to buy the house as well once you're married.
Traffic jam.
Yeah, it's a traffic jam behind it. I think I was just going slow.
Traffic jam.
Guys, now we're crossing over to the Amstel, the only natural body of water in Amsterdam. Also, the river that Amsterdam got its name from. Amsterdam started off as Amsterdam, and after more and more beers, it turned into Amsterdam. Up straight ahead, we actually have the skinny bridge of Amsterdam. There's a surge, I don't know.
Is there also episode filmed here?
Yeah, last season. Now we call this the guys, we also like to call this the Lover's Bridge. There's a legend. They say that if you kiss your loved one while going underneath this bridge, and you hold your kiss from the front all the way to the back, then your love will last forever. So don't miss your opportunity, guys. You have to start your kiss right now. Hold it. Hold it. Well, congratulations, guys. For people that were kissing, congratulations. But to be honest, I did see a few nervous faces, which is quite understandable, obviously. Forever is a very long time. Now for you guys, I do have some good news. We also have a bridge in the red light district. And they say that if you kiss while going underneath that bridge, then your love will last for 45 minutes. Inside is hot, and the outside is very cold. It's completely, I don't know what the word for it is. There's water on the inside. Yeah. You cannot see anything. It's very hot, very cold. There's a lot of wind and bad weather. And you have a boat that is very susceptible to the wind. So for the skipper, it's also a nightmare. No, I just do this when the weather is nice, and I go home. Okay? That's how I do it.